Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering what is really going on with Angel Reese. Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness.
Angel Reese is back to his normal self. However, if you followed her career, you were aware of the true significance of that. It was a wrist injury that ended the season last year. It's a puzzling back problem now, and it so occurred that the Chicago Sky were winning more without her, even though Caitlin Clark is sidelined due to a valid groin ailment. She continues to smash records and consistently shows up for her team as the Fever battle for a postseason. Birth, is Ree truly hurt then? Or is this the WNBA's most foreseeable disappearance in history? Furthermore, how has being caught resigning on the Sky?
Let's go.
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard.
Sky degraded her. If you believe that this is simply another republicity trick, please leave a comment below and insult the baby giraffe. Come on, to her regular self. At this stage, fans could essentially recite the script. The same ambiguous updates, the same active disappearance, and the same coincidence that occurs when Chicago's fortunes aren't looking good. We've already seen this film. Before she even reached her mid-20s, she had surgery last year to prevent arthritis after allegedly suffering.
Hey, look, bro, you gotta remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel?
Bring a major fracture to her wrist. Her season was over in an instant. No slow recovery. No pressure to end strongly. Completed, that the sequel has arrived. It concerns an enigmatic back injury. No precise schedule, no thorough explanation. Just that it appeared precisely in the midst of yet another rocky Sky stretch. You can really watch things unfold as you look at the timetable. Large losses.
Definite absences.
Angel Reese! She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait, what's going on?
Accumulate. Demands made on her to change it. Abruptly, she isn't wearing her uniform. Not even on the bench is she. The week that her status updates will become indefinite absences is now practically predictable. The most peculiar aspect is that she didn't even want to make the trip to Indianapolis for a contest versus the Fever. Is anticipated to be one of the WNBA's most popular games. This is the self-described ITG female in the league. Missing out on the season's most intense rivalry, however. Fast forward a few weeks and she was attending the All-Star game.
Notice.
I think she's using her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that, and now she said, hey, the Chicago Sky sucked this
in Indiana. She staged a marketing hoax in which she pretended to have taken over Caitlin Clark's trap, complete with cameras, grins, and more. Evidently, the back works well for drawing attention, but not when confronting Clark on the court. Many people are beginning to see that pattern. Chicago Sky sucked this year, she added.
She's quit.
She knew, she identified once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not gonna win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my resume.
Peace out. And of course, the conjecture begins. Is this to prevent another high-profile setback for her brand? Is she avoiding the games where she would be exposed in order to safeguard her numbers? The discussions aren't encouraging. She has already packed it in for the year, according to commentators. Some are stating it rather plainly. She has stopped 4 for 2 seasons and 2 injuries, both of which occur at a time when her game's narrative is at its worst. Conveniently,
last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons.
Both removing the opportunity for anyone to test her ability to continue to contribute even after a losing streak. It's difficult to avoid seeing a strategy where others perceive terrible luck when you arrange those timelines side by side. The players start playing like a real basketball team the moment she leaves the lineup, which makes defense even more difficult. At that point, the story becomes practically implausible instead than just do be the way. They promote Angel Reese as inconsistent with the Sky win-loss column, or someone they promote themselves as the franchise's spokesperson, but the outcomes speak for themselves. In fact, they perform better when she is not around. Nor is it a small sample size. Without her, they're able to string together victories and steer clear of the careless losses that keep them at the bottom of the standings. For a so-called cornerstone player, that is not a very good appearance. Let's get it. Insufficient awareness. Coupled with an inability to jump. It's not that good, I guess. The meow is followed by the meow. Yes, once more. Please, do it for me. Meow. Bang. All you need to do is observe what transpired when Chicago played Indiana without Caitlin Clark. Everyone believed that with their leader out, the fever would be exposed. Instead, Indiana rolled past the Skies after Lexi Hull took over, sank 17 points, and finished with a plus 22. That is the same. Sky squad that has struggled to defeat Indiana in any situation this season. They all clicked because they trusted the game's flow, even while Clark was seated, along with Hall, Boston, Mitchell, and Cunningham. Nobody was using shoddy photography to support a brand. Williams will need to get off the dribble quickly. It rolls out. Music open 3, eh? Oh, Alexi Hall, what a sight. She needed to drop that one. This is Alexi Hall on fire. All Chicago has to do now is settle down a bit more in the half court. The nurse loses it. Mitchell does one-on-one. The race is on foot. Cubingham to Mitchell. For 2 more, Cunningham is right there. The dynamics of a team are simple. They're either players who improve everyone or those that cause problems. The ball moves more readily when Reese sits, and the statistics support this. The offensive Chicago doesn't wait for her to crash the boards out of position or post up. The sets are genuinely run by the guards rather than being repeatedly taken by force. The shots are the result of attractiveness rather than late-night desperation heaves, and the wings cut hard. They don't realize that coaches are the most important. Skill. I know that the WNBA isn't exactly a legitimate sports league in certain ways. I'm not sure if they think like actual coaches and athletes. You are worthless if you are unavailable. It's the traditional case of addition by subtraction. It's also difficult to overlook the irony. Imagine the energy level rising after your alleged top player is removed. When she is not on the floor, analysts have noticed an increase in tempo and additional spacing. The bench appears to be more involved as well. Without explicitly stating it, coaches have suggested that when each possession isn't being used to feed one ego, the team plays with greater urgency. All right, new strategy, squad. Keep doing your part, Angel. Her misses are rebounded by everyone else. She continues to go missing at this rate. At Denny's, she will be serving buttermilk pancakes. Butter? Has someone mentioned butter? Butterbeck? Comes a time when brilliance must simply be praised. A bump on the back. Are you serious? Boom. Give me another prayer up, Simon asks. What say you? She had a great layup under the basket. Obtain this girl's GPS. Get to your feet, everyone. It's time to get to know the athlete who gets paid the least. Boom. The largest scam in WNBA history begins to take hold there. Being a true star makes you more difficult to defeat rather than easier. The players around you aren't the issue if your absence makes your squad a more formidable foe. It's you, regardless of how the public relations department presents it. It is becoming impossible to dispute Chicago's superior basketball without her. Furthermore, there's a stark contrast between that image and the events in Indiana, because Caitlin Clark's presence transforms everything the moment she steps onto the court. While Reese vanishes and her team finds ways to win without her, everyone seems to be able to link Caitlin Clark's apparent injury to a specific point during the games where she suffered a relapse. She was injured at first, made a return that lasted 2 or 3 games, and then was hurt again. They have all alluded to her potential return in late August. There's only mystery around Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark keeps appearing while Angel Reese vanishes into yet another round of hazy injury bulletins. Despite having a real groin injury, she continues to play in the arena, wear her uniform whenever she can, stay focused on her teammates, and interact with the spectators. She leads the league in average assists per game this season and is averaging 16.5 points and over 9 assists per game. It's figures that would be remarkable for a player in good health, much less one who is injured. Additionally, those assists aren't inflated numbers when she's on the court. They swing games and make a difference. On Saturday, the Indiana Fever thrashed the Chicago Sky in Indianapolis. Can you guess who wasn't present? Angel Reese. After Angel Reese declined to go to Indianapolis, her coach publicly stated that she was concentrating on her rehabilitation at the moment and that she was living day to day. The cause of the back ailment has never been explained. How long will it take her to recover? It is comparable to the back injury of so-and-so. She had occasional difficulties with this. We've just heard daily conversations. Additionally, Angel Reese is no longer there. She continues to rewrite records despite her injury. Additionally, Clark continues to travel with Indiana, in contrast to some players who take lengthy daily vacations. Whether she is in the starting lineup, she supports teammates on the bench, breaks down plays during timeouts, and participates in the battle. You can see that she is committed, and more significantly, her team senses it. I mean, this gang makes me proud. We've demonstrated over the season that they are resilient, connected, and, supportive of one another. They like each other, I guess. They show each other appreciation, and you know that alone can score 10 to 12 points per game. You can also see how selfless this group is by the way they distribute the ball. Simply put, I'm incredibly proud of them. Even though the season hasn't been perfect, they have demonstrated their true selves. They have, in fact, shown resilience. They have overcome hardship and are still supporting one another. It's impossible for me to express how proud I am of this bunch right now. The outcomes are self-evident. With or without a new outfit, the Fever have defeated Chicago 4 times this season and have lost none. The tone has been set by Clark's leadership in each contest. It's not just her, either. Aaliyah the Paint is being locked down in Boston. One reliable scorer is Kelsey Mitchell. Games are changed by Sophie Cunningham's toughness. Big minutes are delivered by Lexi Hall. Most teams would kill for Natasha. Howard's seasoned presence. This group is based on Clark's approach, and it works. Folks, we whoop that again, and the Indiana Fever are in the Chicago sky. Boy, oh boy, not Dine 2-70. It was a celebration in the hall. Clark has made no secret of his desire to win multiple championships. She connects with the roster in a way that shows she understands the long term. Because of this, when she performs, the ratings rise. The attraction is her. The decline in attendance when she misses games has already been reported by sports media. Publications. In stark contrast, when Reese vanishes, nobody outside of Chicago seems to notice. Her absences don't generate newsworthy headlines. Clark's do. What really makes the point is the constancy. Through injuries, defeats, and all the hype, Clark has been there every night. Reese's disappearance not only looks horrible, but it also highlights Clark's dependability. Furthermore, the reality on the ground has made it impossible to overlook the disparity. If this rivalry was ever on equal footing in the marketing industry, the Indiana Fever are quietly assembling something that genuinely works, while Angel disappears into yet another round of cryptic injury bulletins. No uncertainty surrounds whether their celebrity wants to play, and there is no drama surrounding who will turn up. Rather, they are already moving forward thanks to a well-defined plan. What is the injury to the back? Now, everyone is doubting it. Additionally, this will be the third consecutive season where Angel Reese simply ceased playing. In games, she simply stopped. We were able to witness some of these injuries. What transpired was not visible to us. What took place? This is not good. There is no greater contrast than Chicago. The same issues keep coming up in the sky. A player who spends as much time in street clothes as she does in uniform is being marketed as unstable and inconsistent. The front office at Indiana is adding parts that fit in the meantime. They're not rushing to find solutions. Players who can win together for years are being stacked. Caitlin Clark has previously stated her desire to take home a few titles. And it seems like more than just chatter when you see how the roster is developing. One prominent post presence that is just going to become better is Aaliyah Boston. Kelsey Mitchell, a dependable scorer who challenges defenses. Experts like Sophie Cunningham and Natasha Howard are giving young players the guidance they require to advance far in the playoffs. All of the hustling plays are provided by Lexi Hall. It just tells a lot about who we are as people, in my opinion. That was, one of the things we prioritized concerning who we bring into this organization throughout the off-season. First and foremost, there are good people, selfless people, who want to support one another, who understand that we have this depth for a reason. Sometimes it makes it difficult to get people on the floor, but in circumstances like this is why you have it. I'm simply saying that I think she's right. As a professional coach, and, this is one of the most cohesive groups I've ever seen. That combination of veterans and up-and-coming talent isn't by chance, it's a blueprint. In addition to rewriting records, Clark's playmaking is developing a system that makes advantage of everyone's abilities. It wins basketball games and is quick and effective. The Fever are developing a core that appears more dangerous with each game, while other clubs like Chicago spend their seasons controlling chaos and justifying absences. Additionally, such continuous rise makes the never-ending drama in other places seem even more insignificant. Caitlin Clark may benefit more from Angel Reese's ongoing injury mysteries than anyone else. Clark's influence grows stronger each time Reese leaves the scene. Supporters can see who is truly showing up, making a contribution, and advancing their club. The Fever are the squad to keep an eye on if you're concerned about the game's future. It possessed the skill, the strategy, and a leader who stays strong under pressure. Therefore, consider if you support the players who are creating a legacy or those who are sticking to a brand. Chicago is making excuses, while Indiana is taking action. The decision is clear. Leave a comment below if you believe this is simply another Reese publicity gimmick. Turn on all notifications, like, and subscribe to ensure you don't miss anything. After you click the video on the screen, we'll meet you in the following.